gods by virtue of this merit. Gifts of this kind are called material gifts. IV. Non-existence of the thing given. Question. Generosity is the renunciation of wealth. Why then do you say that the perfect gift involves a thing to be abandoned? Answer. 1. There are two kinds of generosity, supramundane and that which is not supramundane. Here we are talking about supramundane generosity, which is without marks. Being without marks, it does not involve anything abandoned. This is why we say that perfect generosity does not involve renunciation. 2. Moreover, it does not involve renunciation because the material object is non-existent. This object is empty in the future and the past. In the present, it has no defined property. This is why we say that there is no renunciation. 3. Moreover, the agent, when he renounces his riches, says to himself, "My alms have great value," and thereby gives rise to pride and bonds of thirst. This is why we say that the perfect gift does not involve a thing abandoned. Since nothing is abandoned, all pride is excluded. Pride being absent, the bonds of thirst do not arise. 4. Moreover, there are two kinds of donors, mundane donor and supramundane donor. The mundane donor renounces his riches but does not renounce his generosity. Whereas the supramundane donor renounces both his riches and his generosity. Why? Because the material object and the concept of generosity are both non-existent. This is why we say that the perfect gift does not involve renunciation. 5. Finally, in the Prajnaparamita, it is said that three things do not exist, namely, the object given, the donor and the recipient. 1. Non-existence of the outer object. 1. Debate with the realist. The realist. But these three things must be joined in order that there be generosity, and now you say that they do not exist. What is meant by the perfection of the virtue of generosity? If not the presence of a material object, a donor and a recipient. Why do you say that these three things are non-existent? The cloth that is offered as a gift nevertheless really exists. Why? First argument. Since the cloth has a name, a reality, cloth exists. If the reality cloth did not exist, the name cloth would not exist either. But since the name exists, there is necessarily the cloth. Second argument. Moreover, the cloth is long or short, coarse or fine, white, black, yellow or red. It has causes and conditions. It has a maker and a destroyer. It has an effect and, according to the properties it possesses, it arouses concepts. Indeed, it is long if it is 10 feet, short if it is 5 feet. It is coarse if its threads are heavy, fine if its threads are thin. It has the color that the dye gives it. It has threads as cause and weaving as condition. These causes and conditions being brought together, there is cloth. For maker, it has the professional weaver; for destroyer, the person who tears it. For effect, it protects the body from cold and heat. The person who finds it experiences joy. The person who loses it experiences sadness. The person who gives it as a gift gains merit that will be of profit on the path. The person who steals it is killed, exposed in the marketplace, and after death, falls into hell. For all these reasons, we know that the cloth exists and we assume a Dharma cloth. Answer. Refutation of the first argument. You say that the thing exists because the name exists. This is not correct. Why? There are two kinds of names. The kind that corresponds to a reality and the kind that does not correspond to a reality. Thus, there is a plant called tchouli kari, in the language of Sin, means thief. Although this plant does not rob, does not pilfer, and is not really a thief, nevertheless it is called the thief. Again, the horn of a rabbit and the hairs of a tortoise are only names and have no reality. Although the cloth is not non-existent in the same way that the horn of a rabbit or the hair of a tortoise. It exists only as a result of the complex of causes and conditions, and, when these causes and conditions disappear, it no longer exists. It is the same for the forest, the chariot, etc. Which all have a name but have no reality. In a mannequin that is, however, given the name of a man, human properties cannot be found. Similarly, in the cloth, that also is given a name, no reality cloth can be found. In the human mind, the cloth can produce the causes and conditions productive of a concept, since, when someone finds the cloth, they are happy, whereas, when someone loses the cloth, they are sad. But the cloth is only the cause and condition generating a concept, and there is no cloth in itself. There can be two kinds of causes and conditions for the arising of a concept. Some concepts stem from a reality, others from a non-reality, such as the visions in a dream, the moon reflected in water or the tree stump seen in the darkness and mistaken for a man. Such names come from non-realities but are able to provoke the arising of a concept. Conditioning is not fixed, and it cannot be said that, because a concept is produced, there exists a corresponding substance. Real existence must not be sought in that which exists by virtue of causes and conditions productive of a concept. Thus, when the eye sees the moon reflected in the water, a concept is produced which is expressed by saying, "This is the moon," but the so-called moon resulting from this concept is not a real moon. Refutation of the second argument. Furthermore, there are three kinds of existence. 1. Relative existence. 2. Nominal existence. 3. Real existence. 1. For example, length and shortness, the quality of being this or that, etc. have relative existence. In reality, there is neither length nor shortness, neither distance nor closeness. It is because of mutual relationship that we speak thus. Length exists as a result of shortness, and shortness exists as a result of length. That exists as a result of this, and this exists as a result of that. If I am east of an object, it will be looked upon as western. If I am west of an object, it will be looked upon as eastern. Distinctions between east and west exist in relationship to one and the same object. But even though they have a name, they are not reality. That is what is meant by relative existences. No true reality is found there, and they are not comparable to colors, smells, tastes, tangibles, etc. 2. Nominal existence, milk, for example, which has four factors: color, smell, taste, and touchable. When these causes and conditions come together, we commonly speak of milk. The milk exists, but not in the way dharmas coming from causes and conditions exist. The milk does not exist, but not in the way that the horns of a rabbit or the hair of a tortoise are non-existent. It is only as a result of the complex of causes and conditions that we commonly say that milk exists. It is the same for the cloth. 3. Moreover, it is as a result of color, smell, taste, and tangible in the state of ultimate atoms that particles of hair exist. As a result of the particles of hair, there are hairs. As a result of hairs, there is fluff. As a result of fluff, there is thread. As a result of thread, there is cloth. As a result of cloth, there is a garment. If the causes and conditions, namely, color, smell, taste, and tangible in the state of ultimate atoms were lacking, there would be no hair particles. The hair particles not existing, there would be no hair, the hairs not